email developers are still getting hired till this day in 2026. Shout out to everybody that's in here live with me. Today's live stream is going to be all about email development, okay? The pros, the cons, right? How to get started, right? And why you should be paying attention to email development in 2026. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you guys can see me. We had some little technical difficulties before, but now we are back. Okay. So, in this day and age where you're seeing nothing but negative content on the idea of being a developer, being an engineer, that, people are getting laid off, that people can't find a job, people can't get in, that there's no more opportunities for beginners. There's no more opportunities for entry-level positions, okay? I could tell you right now that email development still popping off right now, okay? And I wanted to start this live stream by, showing a great example of this where, since we see so much negative content, I also wanted to go in and balance this out with the positive content, right? Same way how some people are getting laid off, some people can't find a job. There's people getting hired and getting some pretty nice positions right now as we speak. Shout out to everybody in here. We got Billy Rodriguez, we got Michelle De La Riva, Pedro Zurita, Nick the Skinny Guy, Renee the Dev. So yes, we are seeing a lot of you guys in here. So thank you for coming in and popping up in the live stream. All right. I will get into the chat in a little bit, but right now, let's start with this, right? I want to say big shout out to Renee, right, who recently just got hired at a pretty big company. Starts with an S, ends with a Y, and you can start with a PS5. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to him. I'm happy. I'm excited for him, right? Because I've seen the growth that he's had over the years. From when he just first came to CodingPhase.com, right? He came to the meetings, the accountability meetings. He will always show up. To this day, he still shows up to those meetings, okay? And I've seen the growth, from the beginning, from the struggles of like learning HTML, CSS, building the Facebook clone, right? Going into setting up the development environment, right? Everyone has some issues setting up their development environment in the beginning, right? So seeing that whole process, even when he first got his first job a couple of years ago, which started with a contract job. Sometimes people don't understand is that, opportunities come to you in a lot of different ways, right? Your story is not the same story as somebody else. You might hear the stories where a guy comes in and, on his first job, he got $150,000. You don't know his background. You don't know his Carfax. You don't know what he's done, who he knows, what he did, right? But I can tell you this, that when an opportunity comes to you, right, you have to take it. I see so many people that come in and be like, well, I see a guy that makes 100,000, 150,000. That's what I want, right? And that's what I want now. But it's a process, okay? Your first job might be like $60,000, $70,000, okay? But that doesn't mean that's what you're gonna earn for the rest of your life. That's just the beginning. I mean, think about it like this. Someone that comes to CodingPhase.com learns all of these skills for email development, right? Usually within 2 months, okay? There's people that go to school, go get a bachelor's degree, come out of school, still can't find a job, and end up at making $40,000, $45,000, okay? So if you are able to come into this industry and you start with 60, 70, right, 80, bro, it's a blessing because that shows you automatically where you're going to be in the next couple of years, right? So with today's live stream, I wanted to come in and give you guys everything that has to do with email development. I want to answer all of your questions. I want to go back and forth with whatever topics you guys might have when it comes to email development. And we turned on the, automatic replay. We turned on the chat replay. So when people see this later on, they could see every conversation and everything that we had in here. Okay. Hopefully some of you guys that's in here, some of the OGs, if you start seeing some random trolls, guys, you guys are moderators, right? Definitely start taking those people out of here. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a positive live stream. Okay. So again, like I was saying, I've seen the growth of someone like Renee. Shout out to him, right? Who recently just got hired at a new company, right? It's a new opportunity, it's a new experience, right? But I've seen the grind, the hustle that it took to get here, right? And now somebody comes in and sees Renee here. Hey, I'm at Sony, right? Like I said, starts with a S and with a Y, and comes with a PS5, right? You know what I mean? Shout out to him, right? But you might see him here, right? And see his growth and be like, man, I want to do that. I want to get to that point, right? But you have to understand this didn't start here. This started 2 years ago when he just first took that first leap of faith of, let me go in, let me trust this guy. I don't know him from a hole in the wall, but he seems like he's genuine. He seems like he wants to help people out, and people say good things about him. Let me go and try his service out, right? Came in, tried the service, right? And from there got his first job. But like I'm saying, you might see him today and you will say, damn, I want to be just like Renee. But Renee didn't get there instantly. This is a process, right? And one of the things that I love about this ecosystem of email development is that there's actual growth. There's so many different routes that you can grow in this career that is crazy, okay? And we're going to get into all of those things, right? This is what we call MarTech, right? If you guys never heard of this, there's some people that I don't understand how do they work in tech and have no idea that this category of development exists. I have no idea how they go to work. I don't know. Some of these people, sometimes I'll be like, all they do is click clack. They go into a job and just click clack all day, and they have no idea what's the design team doing. They have no idea how the features that they're building actually comes up with, right? They have no idea who actually goes in and promotes the products and the services and helps them, right, be able to go in and have a job too, right? Because it's a team effort, okay? It's everything from the copywriters to the design team to the product team to the marketing team, right? To the CEO, CTO. Like, this is a team effort, right? And I don't understand how people go into companies and have no idea how the companies work, okay? And what are the benefits that they get because they have a big company that has a large team that's all working towards, winning in a sense. Okay. So, like I said, today we want to go in and talk everything about email development. Okay. And we're going to look into some jobs and some keywords that you guys should, pay attention to when you're searching for these jobs, because you don't have to believe anything that I tell you. That's just the facts. I'm just a random dude with a hat on, okay? To you, I'm like, who is this guy in his house? Where is he? Is he in the office? Is he in his living room? Where is this guy? Who is this guy? Why should I trust him, right? You don't have to believe anything that I tell you. You do your own research. Everything that I put out here is stuff that you could literally go on Google and search every keyword that I mentioned, everything that I talk about different jobs, skills, frameworks, ESPs, whatever I'm mentioning here. Take your time to go in and do your Googles, right? So you could go in and say, okay, damn, Joe knows what he's talking about. We've been doing this for 9 years, guys. Okay, this is not something that, I just came out of nowhere, but I pulled it out and be like, hey guys, I'm going to be helping people out. And I never done this. This is something I've been doing for 9 years. Okay. And previous to me going into the space of helping people and educating and teaching people, I was doing this thing since 2011. Okay. So you do the math from 2011 to 2026, how many years I have in this game. Okay. Like I said, we're going to get into all of this stuff. We're going to focus on email development in this live stream. And I want you guys to leave questions, put topics, try to stick into the realm of email development so we could have a nice conversation. And like I said, this is going to be live. So hopefully you guys, pay attention to what we're doing here. Okay. I do want to say to everybody that's in here, Guys, yes, if you want to come in and you want to learn some of these skills, you have to come in and check out CodingPhase.com. Okay, this is the platform. This is where all the work is done. I don't do work on YouTube, right? I don't do tutorials. I don't teach people. I don't do anything like that. I do all the work within CodingPhase.com, the platform. It is a pay system, right? It's a pay service. It's $1 a day, but there's a reason why that is, right? If I'm dedicating my life to this, right, and I'm helping you come in and double your income, sometimes even triple your income, right? I have to go in and make sure that we filter out the looky-loos. We filter out the people that's going to waste our time. Because if you come to me and say, Joe, hey, I want to learn these skills. I want to come in and I want you to help me out, get a new career, get a new job. I want to help you, right? But what I don't want to do is I invest a month into you. And then once you go into, whatever, you see something shiny out there, right? Then you go in and be like, I'm jumping ship. Right? I'm jumping ship and I'm going to do something else. Right? So now I just wasted 1 month of my life that I could have given it to somebody else. Right? So the best way for me to do that is to filter that and say, you know what? Let's go in, provide all the services, provide everything that we need to provide you for you to succeed. And we also have to go in, pay the bills that it costs, because none of this stuff is free. Okay? Don't let nobody fool you. Everything that you see on CodingPhase.com is being paid for, that I have to pay for. So again, I try to make this as affordable as possible, right? And literally, it's $1 a day. Take advantage. For those of you guys that been in in CodingPhase.com, you know what it is, right? You can go in and put it on the chat if it was worth it, if you learned, if you got results. You could put it in the chat if you want, right? For those of you guys that are new, you could leave questions. Okay, I'm here for that. I'm here to answer your questions and helping you guys out. Literally, it's $1 a day. Okay, and from there, if you want to save some more money, sign up for a year. Okay, trust me, you're gonna come back in and you're gonna say like, yo, this was the best $255 that I spent. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now, it's an investment on yourself, but trust me, we're gonna do the work. Okay, so let's get into this, right? Shout out to everybody in here. Let me give a quick shout out before I begin. We got Billy Rodriguez, Pedro Zurita, Renee the Dev. And one thing that I love about, my community, it's regular folks. It's people just like you and me, right? This is not the poppy and mommy kids. This is not the young kid in college that just graduated and I'm gonna go into my internship. This is adults, right? You can go in and you can see this for yourself. This is like, some of the success stories that we have in the Hall of Fame, right? Where you can see here is, a lot of brown, black folks, right? White folks, Asians, like we got from everywhere, right? But one thing that you're going to notice is it's a pattern, right? Everyone here is adults. Everyone here is people switching careers, right? So it's not something that you could say, man, can I really do this, right? Can I go in and learn these skills? Would I have results? Will this work for me, right? Like, if other people have done it, right? And you can see, this is the demographic. You get what I'm saying? This is the demographic. So when you see this, it's like, oh, they did it. Shoot, I could do it too, bro. It's not that hard, right? It's not that hard at all, okay? All you have to do is really just, dedicate yourself, put it in that 1 hour minimum a day, and within 2 months, you're going to start seeing results where you could go in and say, okay, let me go in, start applying to jobs, right? The jobs is there. Companies want to hire people that's qualified, okay? CodingPhase right now is like literally like the leading company that teaches people about email development. Okay, before us, there was nobody. After we came out and we've been helping people, now you see random people out the woodworks. But we've been doing this for a long time. It's almost 10 years. We are the leading company when it comes to this space. We focus on web administration, email development, Shopify development, right? And now we jumping into AI automations, which again, we're going to talk about how AI automations connect with email development. This is your next step. Okay, so shout out to everybody that's in here. Again, let's get into it. Okay, I see a lot of people in the chat, so let me just give a quick shout out. I like to give the shout out to the people that pop up in the live stream, because they take their time to hit the notification bell. They take the time to come in here, so I appreciate it when you come in and you get to join the live stream. So again, Tanner Graham, Akeem, Nick the skinny guy, my homegirl Margarita, let me see, Zarantis, Deborah, Ivan Hurt, my guy, another member of CodingPhase.com that's been killing it on his own, has had a long career, has been killing it as an email developer, has even mentored other people and helped other people come into the game, right? So again, shout out to my boy Kevin Mosley too, who also now helps other people that's in the military come into the space of Shopify, right? He came from CodingPhase.com. My boy Lawrence, right? Shout out to Lawrence. He's now a big developer advocate, right? Shout out to him. You know, you might see him on TikTok. You might see him on Instagram. You might see him at a conference, right? Shout out to him. He also came from CodingPhase.com and also now helps other people. Like, this is what I love about this community, that in here, we're not trying to gatekeep, right? When you come through Coding Phase, this is the beginning of your career. My job is to do, okay, let's go in, take somebody from level 0 and take them to level 5. From there, it's on you to take your career to the next level. And there's going to be other guys that will help you, right? My first thing is, let me get you a job. Let me teach you the skills that you need to get the job. And then from there, you're going to have this amazing career after that. And we see it time and time again from a lot of these guys. Like I said, my boy Ivan Hurt, you know, Lawrence, right? All the people that's been here for years. Again, this is not something that started yesterday, okay? Since 2017, we've been doing this. We're about to hit 10 years. I don't know what you guys want me to do for the 10-year anniversary, okay? You let me know. My boy Eric Aguayo is in here. We got an all-star team right now. Right now, you're seeing on the chat, all of these people that you're seeing in the chat have came to CodingPhase.com and have been successful, and I'm so happy for them. Again, shout out to everybody in here. Okay, so let's get into it, right? The big questions. I mean, are email developers still getting hired in 2026? Clearly, they are, okay? Now, why is that? Well, you have to understand this. Email development is something that literally generates income for companies. It doesn't matter if it's a big company or a small company. When you go in and you go to your local bubble tea spot, why do you think that they want you to register for your email and register your phone number? Okay? Your information goes into something called a CRM system. That CRM system is a customer relationship management tool, right? And in there, now they have all of your information. They have everything that has to do with you, with how many times you buy, how many times you've been there, when was the last time that you actually went to the store and bought something, right? They might even give you some reward points, okay? But the reality of it is that they want to have that direct to consumer relationship. Now, this works for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, enterprise level 4 is 500, okay? Like, literally, this is how it works, okay? Email development generates income for companies because this is how you get repeat customers. You know, when I go in and I do a big launch on a new course, a new career path, guess who are the people that get to come in and purchase the most, right? And generate the most income for my business. It's not usually the new person. It takes a long time to get somebody to trust you to be able to purchase your product or to say, hey, why should I buy that? I don't know, that t-shirt that costs $60. I don't know you. I don't know your brand. But if I got your email, I could tell you, well, this t-shirt was made with, I don't know, with, you know, organic, organic silk, something like that, right? And it was made in the United States. It wasn't made in India. It wasn't made in Nicaragua, wherever they have, you know, a sweatshop, right? We actually made it here in the United States. So now by me giving you that information and letting you know what's the story behind the brand, now you connect to it, okay? Now you connect to it. So now I have your email. So whenever I drop a new product, a new service, I could just directly connect you to whatever product it is and send you that email and say, hey man, we got a new launch. We got a new thing, right? It's much easier than having to convince somebody on the first time that they see your product. You get what I'm saying? So this is something that generates income for companies no matter at what level. So for you to have this skill, this is a long-term play, okay? This is not something that you be like, well, this is a fad. Like, this is going to go away, okay? This is not something that you're going to say, well, 5 years from now, there's not going to be no more emails being sent. You still get mail. You get physical mail to this day. And you might not open it and be like, man, I'm not signing up to this credit card. I'm not signing up to this random thing. Oh, they're doing a remodeling of a bathroom. You might not sign up for it. But a good 10% to 15, 20% of people do sign up. Okay? And if you could send physical mail to people, do you think that emails are going to go away? This is the way to send, a connection, send a message directly to someone. And it's always going to be here. This is how businesses are going to make money. This shit is not going away. Okay. It's only growing and evolving. Okay. So yes, it's going to be here for a long time. Okay. Now we have the other question of like, what changed after AI tools blew up, right? Like you have all of these tools that's out here and you might think all of this shit is going to get automated. You have to understand this, right? Maybe the building of the HTML emails by hand, right? By hand might not be something that you do every single day, right? But to this day, there's a lot of companies that still do manual work as far as like creating the emails. But how it's going to evolve with AI is that by you having the skills of actually building the emails yourself and you know how this thing works, you could create rules when the AI, because you could tell the AI, build me an email. I could show you guys right now. I could tell Cursor, I could tell Claude Code, I could tell ChatGPT, build me a HTML email. And it's going to build me a very basic HTML email. But most likely it's not going to have ghost tables. Most likely it's not going to have the things that we're going to need, like the UTM tags to track the emails. It's not going to have all of those things. Now, the only way that you could tell the AI how to build a proper email is by you actually knowing how to build a proper email, because the AI only does the most basic things when you only give it a very basic prompt. For you to actually go in and take full advantage of AI, you have to give it exact details of what you want. Now, I could get any one of you guys that have maybe never done an email before, and I could tell you, hey, go ahead, build me an email. And then I'll take somebody like Renee, or I'll take somebody like Ivan Hurt, right? And when we go in and we take your email and his email, right, or their email is going to be way more advanced and it's going to work on every single platform. Your email might work just on Gmail because that's all the AI is going to give you, because it's going to give you the most basic thing. So with these AI tools, it's going to enhance our work. Okay, it's not replacing email developers at all. Okay, it's just making our lives much easier. I'll be honest, like building HTML tables, HTML tables can be boring. Okay, that's the most boring part of emails. Okay, building the tables. But at the end of the day, you have to understand this, that AI is here to help us build the most boring shit. Like, I don't want to deal with the boring parts of things, right? Things that used to take me, 3 to 4 or 5 hours. Now we could do that in 20, 30 minutes, okay? Which allows us to do more work. And now companies see us as even more valuable because we actually go in and build things much faster, which allows us to go in and do other tasks. Because, as an email developer, this career path has already transitioned. Okay. It was at some point, it was just like, okay, you're an email developer. From email developer now is email marketing specialist. From email marketing specialist now is CRM specialist. And from CRM specialist now is automation specialist or marketing automation specialist. This is how the job titles are changing, and they're changing because as tools get better, right, we have less things to do with the code, where before it was just, I'm just coding emails all day. Now we're actually going in, creating the segmentation, sometimes going into maybe like MySQL to be able to go in and get all of the different type of customers that we want to go in and target. Maybe we are in a mixture of data science. Like we have guys like my boy Henry Garrido, right? Shout out to Henry Garrido. I don't know if he's here. Okay. He works as an email developer in another big company too. Now, him, right, as an email developer, he's building the emails, but he's also in communication with the design team, with the data science team, right? Because all of this is in a sense, is about data. The best way to reach to the right people is by looking at your data. And once you look at your data, then from there, you're able to go in and actually, create the best emails that's actually going to go and convert people. So this is something that you have to go in and remember. Like you're working with a bunch of different teams and you're collaborating. Okay. So this is where we're going with this. Shout out to everybody in here, man. It's a little bit hot today. I'm kind of sweating out here. I don't know why it's so hot. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to turn on the AC. But yeah, man, give me 1 second. All right. All right, guys. All right. Had to turn up the AC real quick. So hopefully you guys are still sticking with me. I just needed to turn up the AC. I'm getting like really, really hot. I don't know why. Maybe because the lights or something. So again, let's continue with this, man. Yeah, man, I started feeling a little bit woozy or something. Like I haven't ate anything. I was freaking doing a bunch of stuff earlier today. I just realized I'm like, yo, I haven't ate. I haven't freaking had nothing for breakfast. I'm like, damn, feeling a little bit crazy right now. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody in here, man. Thank you for sticking with me. So somebody said in the chat, damn, I didn't know that much about the email developer, but is it more competitive than web dev? And that's one of the cool things about it. Like email development is not as competitive as web development as far as like front end, back end. This is something that in reality, a lot of people don't even know about, email development. Like, I've seen people that have over 10 years as software engineers and they're like, I've never done no emails. I don't even know that exists. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, how do you work in companies and not notice? But it's fine because at the end of the day, it's not their fault. Sometimes when you go into this world of software engineering, you're just so stuck in just the programming side of things that you don't really pay attention to everything else that happens in the business. Okay. So again, like I said, email development is definitely something that's going to be around for a long time. And the AI tools is something that we got to get used to it. That's why you see the transition of like the different type of titles. Before it was just email developer, different email marketing specialist. Then you have the CRM specialist. Then you have now the AI automation specialist or marketing automation specialist, right? This is something that is going to continue to grow. And for us as developers, like there's so much different things that we can do to really, really help us out, in this whole process. Shout out to Wifey out here. She came through with a little care package. Came through with a little care package to help out your boy. It's the pros and cons of being married. You know what I mean? There's pros, there's cons. Okay. So yeah, shout out to wifey, man. She out here, delegating and helping out over here. Okay. So, anyways, man, let me just pop a little something, bro. Today I ain't even freaking. I just realized I'm like, yo, I ain't even pop my high blood pressure pill. I didn't pop nothing. I didn't eat nothing. I'm like, damn. I gotta start taking care of myself, man. Sometimes I just get in this zone of work, bro. Like, and it's kind of crazy because you get in the zone, and when I'm on, bro, like I don't stop. I'm one of those people. Like I woke up this morning and I just went in. I'm saying, yo, there's so many cool things happening, and like so many cool stuff that we're doing right now, like on CodingPhase with the AI automations course. Like I'm knocking all those videos out. I'm working on the whole curriculum. I'm talking to, freaking CTOs of companies. I'm talking to HR people to go in and make sure that this curriculum is gonna last the next 5 to 10 years. The same way how email development has been able to last this long, right? It's because of the research and the work that I put in. And once I get in that zone, bro, of just like I'm grinding, I even forget to eat. I even forget to even freaking do what I need to do. So shout out to wifey that came through with a little care package. She said, yo, hold on, bro. You didn't eat, you didn't do nothing. Here you go. So as you can see, right, this is I try to keep this, as friendly and as organic as possible, this live streams. I don't try to come over here, sell myself like, hey guys, I'm this super professional guy. Like, you don't need that. Right? What you need is something that is more approachable, somebody that's more real, somebody that could be honest with you, somebody that cares about you and cares about your success just as much as you. And this is what we provide on CodingPhase. So again, let me continue with this, right? So let's go into the next thing, right? As far as like why email development isn't going anywhere, right? We talked a little bit about that, and it really just comes down to the fact that it generates income. Okay. If I go in and I tell you, hey man, this right here, every time you use this plastic bottle, it saves you money, right? And you basically go package this up, for any type of brand. All we have to do is put in a new brand around this little bottle, right? Guess what? If you are a company that want to sell water, right? This is the water bottle you're going to use. You're not going to switch over to something completely different that has not been tried, that has not been tested, that has not worked for other people, right? So emails is one of those things that it's not going away. It's just evolving. You have to keep that in mind, okay? Now, again, if anybody has any questions while we're here, right, and we take a little bit of time, to take a little break, definitely come in and put some questions. I'm gonna go through the chat to see if there's any questions in there. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Let me see. Renee out here job stacking. Shout out to Ivan Hurt. Ivan Hurt says, I'm at work, but trust Joe. Been eating CodingPhase courses since 2018. Still winning as an email developer. Thank you for that, Ivan. Let me see. Reading through here. Yes, my boy Bree Power said fire late night session yesterday. Yes, we did a live stream last night. If you guys haven't checked it out, I went into a little bit of my personal life and shared a couple of things. I try to share as much as I can to you guys, and even share some of my plans and things that I'm doing myself right now as a developer. And being a father, being a man, going into this age, we about to hit 40, right? The things that we did in our 30s, we can't do in our 40s. So we got into all of those topics. So definitely go check that out. Okay. Let me see. Marcus B says CodingPhase meetup in Thailand. Hopefully, man, one of these days. Okay. Daredevil says I've been an email developer for 2 years now, thanks to CodingPhase. So we have a lot of people, bro. Like it's a lot of people when you come in and you check out like our track record. I mean, even when I go in And again, we check out my boy Renee's LinkedIn, right? And that's another thing too. Like when you join this community, like it's a community. Like people know each other. People know who you are, right? Sometimes, you know, I've seen people help other people get into jobs and positions, right? So I love seeing that, you know, even in the LinkedIn post from Renee, like the majority of people that's in here, right? A lot of them already came through CodingPhase.com and are working in companies. Like we could go through here. We got Chris Norton. We got Henry Valerio. You got Brianna Anderson, Ivan Hurd. Like there's so many people in here. Raquel Campos, Rainier Luna. Like we have a lot of people that have came through CodingPhase and still show love and still show support to our other members. So again, that's one thing that I love about this community. Like, you know, one thing that I don't regret is creating this community and what it has become over the years. Okay. Let me see. Reading through here, Mason Alameo says, Joe, do you have any deals going for codingphase.com? Currently, we have a deal. Right now, when you go into codingphase.com, that is the deal. Okay. CodingPhase.com, you go in, right? Literally, you know, we supposed to be charging $60 for the service that we provide, right? When you go in, and you see, okay, man, this thing is $30. It's supposed to be $60. All right. The only difference that you don't see that price is because I go in and I make sure that I automatically add a discount to it. Okay. So if you come over here and you click on, let's say the monthly, right? In reality, when you go through the Stripe checkout, this is $60. Okay, we already giving you a 50% off, right? At that price, I can't do much after that. You get what I'm saying? Like I can't really do more than 50%. Like what I'm supposed to do, like a 90% off. Like at that point, like I wouldn't be able to keep all the services that we have on CodingPhase. It just wouldn't be able to make sense. Like right now, I'm giving it for 50% off. So that is the sale. The thing is that, you know, sometimes when people go into the website, you know, they have to add a coupon code or they got to go through the link on YouTube. I just made your life easy. I just go in, boom, set everything up to already have the discount code in it. So you could go in and just, boom, sign up right away. Okay. So that is the sale. Okay. Let me see. Another question in here. Joe, what's the biggest change you've noticed in the freelance software as a service market now that you think people should be taking advantage of it if they can? Wait, hold on. What's the biggest change you've noticed in the freelance / software as a service market now that you think people should be taking advantage of if they can? Okay, cool. Great question. Social media, right? And social media has been around since forever, right? But you need to start putting yourself out there. Again, we're going to keep it with the space of email development. This whole live stream is going to be about email development, right? I want to stick to the topic. But I could tell you like this. A lot of you guys don't really use social media how you're supposed to use it, okay? You want to go in and create a brand, a personal brand, right? You could have an email or like an account that's like your throwaway. That's your troll account, right? You post all your random stuff, you drinking with your friends, whatever you do on your weekends. Keep that on the low, okay? But whatever is connected to your name, you create a brand around that, okay? And when you post on social media, you want to post about things that you can provide to the world, right? And answer questions that people might have. Because people are searching for these things. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that's popping up in this live stream, they popped up because they saw, hey, web developer, hey, email developer, hey, live, hey, jobs. So they searching for this information, right? And how they could get a job, how they could get in, and then they bump into my channel. You can do the same thing, but targeting people that need your services. You can get a job as an email developer, but you could also do this on the side, okay? Even like right now, like on platforms like Fiverr, okay, you can go in and freelance. Some people might say, well, Joe, I got my first job is, I'm making, $65,000, $75,000 for the year. Okay. I would love to make $100,000, right? But I love the company that I'm in, and it's a really good company, and I'm barely doing any work, and I love working here. Okay. You could go to a bigger company, and that bigger company might overwork you for an extra $30,000. Now, you can make that extra $30,000 freelancing. You can make that $30,000 on Fiverr, right? And you use social media to bring awareness that you are an expert and authority, that you can provide these services. There's a lot of small businesses, guys. Always remember this. The same way how there's people searching for jobs, there's enough people out there too that have companies that maybe they can't hire you full time, but they need projects to get done. They need things that you could help them out with. But how they gonna find you if you don't tell nobody? I've never heard of an entrepreneur searching on LinkedIn. It's unheard of. Okay, the way how an entrepreneur, a business owner, most of the time they're looking through social media. If I need emails done, I'm searching on Instagram. I'm searching on TikTok. Let me see who's out there. Let me see on Twitter, right? Or X. Who actually is a authority in this field? Because I need emails. I need to get this done. So how can I get that done, right? And, and find the right person. I wouldn't be able to find you if you don't share it online. So you have to use social media to bring you business, right? If you want to go in and freelance, and this is the same thing for anybody that's doing like software as a service, you have to use social media to go in and bring people into the platform. Look, one of the things that you guys have probably noticed, right, is that I haven't made a lot of videos on YouTube. I haven't made a lot of live streams. Right now I'm trying to get back in the zone to do more for that. But the reason that is because most of the people that come to CodingPhase.com, I have systems that's already set up where they come in through social media, right? It could be from advertisement, or it could be I have UGC creators and AI UGC creators. I have a system where I'm generating content online on TikTok, on Instagram, that when you searching email development, my content pops up and you might not even think that it's me, but it's already set up, right? This is part of, AI and automation. Okay. Social media is all about attention. So you have to create a bunch of content to then from there catch the attention of people when they're searching for your topic or your services or your products. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm doing. So you can do the same thing as an email developer. You can go in and literally schedule out all of your posts for a whole month. You go in, you take your time, take a weekend, you do all of your images, you generate your images, right, with AI. All of these things is the things that we're going to cover in the AI automations course, which is going to bring a lot of value to a lot of you guys, because this is stuff that we can do for businesses and we could do for ourselves. You know me, I'm big on the idea that the skills that we learn are skills that could get us paid full time at a job, but skills that we could do outside of work. When you see me doing this here and you see, all the things that I've been able to accomplish, like we've generated millions of dollars, but it wasn't through the job, right? The job was what paid for me to be able to go in and fund everything else that I've been able to do. You get what I'm saying? And I always tell you guys this, you got to learn skills that you could do at a job so it could pay for your lifestyle. And then everything else that you do outside, that's profit. That's where you build wealth. Okay. That's why I stick to web administration, email development, Shopify development, right? And of course, full stack is just right now, full stack is a little bit, shaky, right? But if you want to build a software as a service, then that might be the best route. Right. But this is why I focus on these skills, because it's like, if you want to make money, you can make money. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff that I can do for myself. Right. Like right now, I'll give you a great example. Right now, even I myself, I'm thinking of going back into the workforce for the next 2 years. Okay. And it's a plan that I have because my goal is I want to retire early. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm going to work double time. I have my businesses and I'm going to also go into the job market to go the same way. Because, I mean, look at this. I see people like my boy Renee working at Sony. You think that Renee working at Sony, where do you think I could go and work at? There's a lot of companies that been hitting me up that want me to work for them, right? But I've always I've never been able to schedule everything properly. And this is one of the things that I love about this new platform on CodingPhase is like a lot of the stuff that I used to do manually, I no longer do it manually. The only thing that I have to do manually is like recording the videos and creating the course. That I could do on my off time. So what do I do from, let's say, 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 p.m.? I have a lot of time in my hands. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm seeing a lot of good opportunities that's coming my way, and a lot of the stuff that I've been doing for my own businesses, companies are willing to pay me top dollar for that, right? I have a couple of roles that I'm doing, a couple of interviews with some major companies as a growth manager. Now you might say, what the hell, Joe? I thought you was in coding and why aren't you going for software engineer? Well, there's different things, different routes. I like to code. I just don't like to code for nobody else, right? I like to build my own apps. I like to build my own things, right? And right now in this stage of my life, I want to go into the space of helping companies grow, helping companies set up systems to automate, their marketing, right? Working with Salesforce, working with Braze, right? Working with Pardot and a whole bunch of other services out there, right? Setting up automations with NAN, working with Zapier, making sure that advertisement is the right one, generating the advertisement for companies. Like the same things that I've been doing for my company, I can do for other companies, right? So even I myself, when I tell you guys, this is the wave, okay? If I'm like, yo, I'm seeing all these opportunities, I'm not letting this go by. You get what I'm saying? Because to go in and make an extra, extra $150,000 per year, that's extra bread for my retirement. Why should I be lazy and be like, nah, I just want to chill at home and not do anything? When I could go in, my business is already generating income, right? There's a huge opportunity. To me, this is not work, right? Doing like AI automations, doing email development, setting up, campaigns for business. I don't consider that work for me. That's like me doing what I do every single day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing these opportunities and I'm like, I'm going for it too. Let me get my bag. This is bag season. You know what I'm saying? This is bag season. We are in a stage right now where we gotta go in and build as much wealth as possible. One thing that you're noticing, right? The world is changing into the have and have nots. Okay? If you don't set yourself up in the next 5 years, things is gonna be even worse for you. Okay? I'm preparing for all of this, right? Even I myself. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in a real chill situation, by the time I'm like 42, 43, where I'm like, shit, thank God I did all this work, because things is going to get harder, guys. Okay? Ain't no way around it. Okay? The dollar is going down, the markets is going crazy, right? Houses cost, $500,000, any decent home. Right? If you live in California, you're talking about $1 million, $2 million home for, 4 or 5 bedroom. So how do you go in and prepare yourself? You have to get into things that's profitable. And when there's opportunities in front of you, you have to go for it. You get what I'm saying? In 2022, even before that, 2020, right? There was a huge opportunity, but I was so focused on CodingPhase and the platform and the YouTube channel that in reality, I missed out on a lot of opportunities. Even though I made millions of dollars, I still missed out on a lot of opportunities because I dedicated so much into CodingPhase, right? 2022, we had to run with the stock market. We had to run with crypto. We had to run with Shopify. In a sense, even though I got a piece of the whole, movement, I missed out a lot on it because I was so much dedicated to CodingPhase, the YouTube channel, right? Remember, I used to do a video in the morning, a live stream in the afternoon. Then from there, doing meetings in the nighttime, meetings with the students. I just dedicated my life to this service, and it's been great. But now with all of these new AI tools and all of these new things that I've been able to do the past year, that's what I did all of last year. How do I automate this? How do I make sure that, the things that I need to be there for, I could be there for, but then I could also have times to do other things. Maybe build another business, maybe see some opportunities where, I could go in and make an extra 150,000 per year. Why not? Right. So right now, this is grind time. And if I'm telling you like, hey man, even I myself is seeing these opportunities, I'm not letting it go, because the way how I look at it, this is such a pivotal moment. Sorry, guys. You know me. I'm an immigrant, guys. Excuse me, right? Certain words I'll be like having a little bit hard time, right? But this is such an important moment in time that, in a sense, you want to be within it. Okay. You want to be within it. You don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now, but the people that's in now are the people that's going to have the highest chance to have a long-term career. The people that's not in, right, and it's outside looking into, how this whole corporate structure starts changing with AI, right, it's going to be way harder for you to go in and say 10 years from now. So one of the things that I'm doing by me going into the space is, in a sense, I got a family, guys. I got 4 kids. I got a wife. I got responsibilities. I got a lot of stuff that I got to do. So I have to be part of this transition, right? I have to be part of this transition of AI, and I have to be within the system, in a sense, because 10 years from now, we don't know how the world might change. And you don't want to be that guy that was like, yeah, bro, I don't know anything about this whole transition. I don't know anything about AI. I don't know how this thing is done in corporate. I don't know how this. I'm not trying to be one of those guys, because this is how you become a dinosaur, right? There's guys that are dinosaurs that have been really, really good engineers, really good software developers, right? Work at companies. Let's say a guy that knows ASP.NET, right? And he knew ASP.NET in 2006 or something like that. And he worked at a company for 10 years. And that's all he did. The day they pulled the rug under him, he has now to scramble to search for a job, to then now somehow take care of his life, right? And be like, man, how do I get a job? I got to learn React. I got to learn this. I got to learn that. Node.js is around. Now AI tools. You know what I'm saying? So he's scrambling. I'm the type of person, I plan ahead, right? Before things start getting crazy and things start changing, I go in and I say, you know what? Let's make sure we always have a plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I am. And I'm seeing these opportunities. I'm telling you guys right now, if you're not paying attention to MarTech, you're going to be left out. This is where everything is moving to, okay? Because there's going to be jobs for software engineering and creating tools. But what's going to happen is a lot of these companies is going to start gatekeeping this. We're going to go back to how it was when I started in this career, right? Why my first job is not a software engineer when I first came into the game? Because at the time, they were only asking for people with degrees. When the industry saw that they needed more engineers and they couldn't get qualified engineers, then they said, you know what? Let's open up the gates, right? And let's let the people from boot camps, online courses, let's let them in. This is what we've been living through this whole time, right? The last 10 years, and this is what I told you guys, it's a golden age. You don't know how long this is going to last. You want to be part of it. You want to get in. The people that listen to me, they're good. You already got experience, right? But the people that didn't listen to, if you're thinking in your head like, yo, I'm going to wait, in 3 years, I'll come back to this. In 3 years, it's going to be 10 times harder. Once they close that gate and they say, okay, everybody needs a degree and everybody might need a master's, because they will do that. This is what's going to happen with software engineering, right? And I'm seeing it now. There used to be that you go to 2 interviews to get a job. Now it's 5 to 6 interviews to get a job as a software engineer with experience, right? The last thing that they're going to close on is going to be, you need a degree. So then now what happens to individuals like myself and probably some of you guys, right? When you go in and you say, well, my name is Bob. I want to, learn how to code and I want to get a job as a software engineer. But damn, now I need a degree and I need a certification. So now your life is on hold for the next 4 years until you get that degree. What happens if you got kids? What happens if you got a family? What happens if you're 30 something years old? You already got a mortgage. You already got a car note. You got all of these things. Then now the gate has been closed on you. It's hard for people to go back to college and do 4 years, right? 4 years part-time is damn near 6-7 years, right? So this is things that I'm seeing in motion. Remember, guys, everything that I talk about in here is stuff that I already did the research on, right? And if even for myself, I'm like, you know what? I have to go in and secure this transition experience for a plan B, plan C, plan D. I'm an entrepreneur, guys. I have a great business. I have a great business model, but nothing is promised tomorrow. So you always got to have a backup plan. But what if you go in and you get so comfortable and you don't think about the backup plan, right? Everything could change. I've seen it. I've seen people that have made millions of dollars that now broke, right? And they can't get a job because they're not up to date with anything. They can't get in, right? So if I'm looking at this as, this is a great opportunity for me. See this from within. I'm getting paid a lot of money. The average person is not making $150,000. And if I want to, go into like a bigger company after that, I could do that too, right? But shit, starting at 150,000, I'm not going to say no to that. For something as easy as like email development, setting up a couple of automations, generating a couple of images. I do that shit when I'm on my laptop watching Netflix. That's like free money to me. You know what I'm saying? Which allows me to put back into the stock market and allows me to invest into my retirement, which is coming up soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm 38. I'm over here talking about retirement. I'm over here like, yeah, bro, I'm getting ready to retire. I am, right? I'm getting into that point where it's like, okay, we worked hard for 10 years. Now, what do we need to do the last few things, right? And it's literally to go in and accumulate as much money as possible and get into as much assets as possible. Because once this thing switches over, and it's already happening, it's the have and have nots, okay? The people, I could consider myself, I'm one of the people that haves, right? I set myself up in a good position. But do I have balling money? Do I have like FU money? And do I have like money that I could just be like, I never have to work a day in my life? No, right? I'm not there yet. I'm about to be, but how do I do that? I have to go in and work. And I have to go in and work 2 times as hard and make it happen for myself, because nobody's going to do it for you. This is why I tell you guys about all of these things. I focus a lot on these skills because there's so many different ways that you can make income. Like right now, even I myself, I'm like putting myself out there, with this new growth manager roles that's popping up. I'm going to take advantage of that. On top of that, we have like Fiverr, we have software as a service. I'm working on a software as a service that right now, currently, it's already making $2,500 for me. You know what I'm saying? Which in $2,500 might seem like a lot for somebody, but that ain't much to me, right? But it adds to what I make on a monthly basis. So I'm trying to have as many incomes as possible, where I could go in and say, well, I'll make $2,500 from here. I'll make $10,000 from here. I'll make $15,000 from here. I go in and make $3,000 right here. A contract job comes in. I do another $2,000 here for one project. A client comes in, do this, and that, right? That's $500. I don't say no to money, right? I'm stacking up, because I'm telling you guys, this is the moment where we're going to look back and we're going to say, damn, there were so many opportunities, but once the gates get closed, if you ain't accumulate enough, shit's gonna get ugly for you. Okay, so this is why I'm trying to put you guys on to all of this, right? Shout out to everybody that's in here. For anybody that's watching right now, watching this on the replay, watching this on YouTube, right, live, guys, definitely come to CodingPhase.com. Come check out the platform, okay? This is something that, you know, like I said, we're putting a lot of work. We're giving you all the courses. We're giving you the portfolio templates. We're giving you the resume builders. We have the job board. Like, we're doing everything for you. And you're not going to find this price of $1 a day, $30 a month, right? This is something that's going to go away soon, right? Because once I go in and really start going into this next step of what I'm doing with my career, I'm going to have somebody that's going to be doing most of the work that I used to do full time on CodingPhase, which allows me to lower the price this much. This is going to go back to 60, 70, 80. You know what I'm saying? So again, take advantage. It's like it locks you in by getting a great deal when the situation is good. When you're like, okay, shoot, Joe's in a good mood today. Joe's in a good mood today. He giving out crackhead prices. So take advantage of that. Okay. Shout out to everybody in here. I'm looking through the chat. Let me see. Let me go through the chat. Just going through the chat. Just the future proof email developer course finished. We working on that. We working on that one. But the reason why we haven't gone too deep into it is because we're going into the AI automations, which is also connected to the future proof email developer course. It's like the future proof email developer course is to teach you how to do the emails and then going into AI to then from there do that work. So as we're doing the AI automations course, things are overlapping, and that's what's happening with it, right? For everybody that got the future proof email developer course, you automatically get the AI automations course for free. So you're getting all of that because it overlaps. That's the problem. And it's like, as I'm building the curriculum, I'm building the course, I'm seeing that automatically, you know, it's like this. It's an overlap, and in a sense, I'm doing the same videos 2 times. And it's like, okay, I got to restructure this so it can make sense. Okay. So that's what's going on with the future proof. Let me see. Kevin Davis says, yeah, we got some sound. Yes, man. Yeah. The last time, when I was live earlier today, we didn't get no sound, no audio, and I'm still learning how to use OBS. Let me see. Reading through here. Calvin John says, great advice, work job for security and career progression, but a side hustle is always great for a way to grow your own business long term. Yes, definitely. Let me see who else is in here. Let me read through the chats. Okay. I'm just reading through the chats, guys. Okay. Let me see. The 666 Fuzz says, oh, basically attention is key. Yes, attention is key right now in social media. Bro Tripping says, why is the web admin email developer more basic dev stuff is more in demand than technical careers like full stack? Well, the issue is, it's not that like software engineering and full stack is bad. It's just like right now we're going through a transition. Okay, we're going through a transition in the industry. Okay, and what I'm noticing, this is from what I'm noticing from, you know, from within the industry and what I've been knowing for the last 10 plus years that I've been doing this. Software engineers are expensive, right? And companies paid a lot of money to software engineers because no one else could do this work, right? You had to go to school 4 years. You had to be like super technical, right? But then now with AI, if you are an engineer that has experience, you could do the same work as much as like 5 to 10 other guys. Think about it like this. The way how engineering was done or development was done was we throw as much manpower at the problem to get things done as quickly as possible. Now with AI and, you know, agents, AI agents, you can have one guy that really knows the whole system and knows all of these things and is good with AI and how to set up and orchestrate all of these AI systems, and he could do the job of 5 to 10 other people. Right? So, with that being said, now companies are looking at the coding part. Is it special how it used to be? And the fact is that it's not. Okay? Now, this is the scary part. This is why a lot of people are like scared. They're like, oh, so what do I do with my life? This and that. It's like, you're going to have to level up. It's no longer enough to just say, well, I could code. It's how do you generate money for a business? How do you generate income for this business? Are you part of the process of the architecture of whatever technology you're using? Are you part of the people creating the features? Like, there's a lot of code monkeys in a lot of companies. That's just, hopefully people don't take it the wrong way. A code monkey, in a sense, is like somebody comes in, they give him a ticket, he goes in and he does it, right? And fixes it. But he's not part of the process of, what products they're building. Why are they building those products? He's not even part of the conversation. Sometimes there's people that go into jobs and don't even say nothing, don't even speak up, don't give up ideas or anything. They're just there as grunt work, right? So now these companies are going in and saying, okay, we got to think of this a little bit different. How we do engineering, because we're still gonna need people to build things from scratch and build things using AI and oversee all of these things. So those jobs, it's not that they're going away. It's just that there's not gonna be as many jobs as there were before. Now, how do you go in and say, well, I'm a software engineer. How do I go in and get a job now? Well, you're gonna have to do more than that. So this is why I say, we still teach full stack development at CodingPhase.com. But full stack development, in a sense, right now is great if you're an entrepreneur. But then now you're in like catch 22, because now you know how to code, but you know nothing about business. And this is why you see, like, on Twitter, all of these people, oh, I'm buying a Mac Mini, I'm Mac Studio, or this and that. I'm gonna have Claude Code, I'm gonna have OpenClaw, and this and that, right? And they're all so excited to get this thing because the AI is gonna help them build $1 million business. There's a guy on YouTube right now live that he has 360 something days. I'm vibe coding myself to $1 million. He hasn't made $1,000 yet. Now, again, this is the scary part, right? Because you start thinking in yourself, you're like, okay, so then what's the point of even learning how to code? It's like learning to code is the foundation now. Before, it was the highlight. So now, if you want to be a software engineer, you want to be a full stack developer, you're going to have to come in with more than the average person. Okay? And on top of that, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to learn a lot of skills that you neglected on, right? We're talking about design. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about research. So many people come up with ideas that is like, bro, that's just not going to fucking work. Why I could tell you it's not going to work? Because I've been doing this shit for years. And like, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've been like literally creating online businesses to online businesses to online business. Like, my first online business was selling freaking, used clothes and selling it on eBay. I've done everything from Amazon to, drop shipping to freaking digital products, freaking social media. Like, I've done everything that you could think of. And the thing about most engineers is that they have the technical side of things, but they missing the creativity. It's like somebody that goes in, and if I go in and I'll only teach you math, and you've never been to an art class, can you draw? Even though you're a great engineer and all you know is math? Right now, we are in a stage in the industry where the person who knows enough of everything is the rock star. in this industry, I'm a rock star. Now you might say, Joe, stop playing. Stop. Damn, Joe, really? Your ego's like that? It's the facts. Okay? I can go into software engineering. I could go into design. I can go into marketing. I can go into building my own business. I could go into any space that I want, right? Now, there's some things that I'm stronger in than others, right? But this allows me to be a chameleon. This is the type of people that's going to shine the most, okay? It's like, we think about it like this, like for most people, right? That works in companies, and this is the scary part too, from like, let's say if you're going into like software engineering, there's a guy that knows about a certain industry and has enough experience about that industry, maybe marketing, maybe it could be, I don't know, advertising, right? He can go in and vibe code an application that goes in and then generates $1 million a month for him because of the knowledge that he has. So now I might not need you to come and do this for me, because I could go in and get this shit going. So the guys with expertise in different industries, now the thing that was stopping them, that friction, is no longer there. Because now I could go in and be able to explain enough of this industry, because I don't know how to code. I don't know how to break down everything about how to build this app, but I know the business. I know the industry, and I could feed that to ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help me write a PRD, then from there go into something like Claude Code, and then from there come up with the right things that I might need. It might not look the best, it might not work the best, but it solves the problem. So now I just X'd you out. So you're a young kid coming straight out of college, you're a full stack engineer, and all you've been worrying about was just, I just need to know how to code. But what happens when just knowing how to code is no longer special? Now you need to come up with ideas. Now you need to come up with creativity. Now you need to learn how to do research, learn how to solve problems, learn how to work all of these different things that you neglected before. I mean, look at the stuff. Remember, we had a live stream the other day where somebody was talking about, hey, bro, you talking about email development and you don't know Rust? I'm like, why would I need to learn Rust when I could go in and write something in JavaScript, and I could go in, because that's the language that I know. I know PHP. I know, Crystal Lang, Ruby on Rails. I could go in and write all my shit in the language that I know. And if I do need Rust, I could go in and use ChatGPT or Claude Code. Hey, convert this into Rust and make it more efficient. So now you, as a Rust developer, you're like, man, this is what makes me special. I'm like, yeah, but look at the difference. I know all of these other things that you might not know. You don't know how to do social media. You don't know how to do come up with ideas for businesses. You don't know how to validate ideas to see if this thing is actually going to work. You know how to code. So now when that's not special no more, this is what we're seeing. Companies are here, they don't pay people a lot of money just to pay them. They pay them because the amount of value that service or product or whatever you do for that company is worth. As that shit starts going down, now you got to bring in more value. It's like the same thing for a designer. There's designers right now that they graduated college and they were supposed to be graphic designers. They know how to do t-shirts. They know how to do, they know how to draw. So they know the basics. But they can't find a job as a graphic designer. Why is that? Because they don't know about branding. They don't know how to create, maybe UI, UX. Remember, there was in this web design, there was web design, graphic design, then came UI, UX. Then came in now branding. Now it's creative strategies. If you ain't keep up, if you was, guys, I come from that world. When I went to get my bachelor's degree, I was going for communication design. Okay. My ex-girlfriend at the time, she graduated with a graphic design degree. Okay. Ask me what she does now. She's a teacher's aide at a daycare. Why? And I told her that at the time. I was like, yo, you're not keeping up. You don't even know anything about mobile design. You don't know anything about web design. You don't even know, you're not keeping up with what's happening with the industry. You don't listen to a podcast. You're not watching, other designers that's in the industry that's, making money either freelancing or building their own companies, building their own agencies. How do you get clients? You're not doing none of that. 10 plus years later, right? She's a teacher's assistant, right? So this is the same shit that's happening now with engineering. And there's going to be engineers, but it's going to be a top 20, top 30% of the guys that's going to be able to get a job easily. And what happens with that is it's so much easier when you're young, when you're like 19, 20 years old. You got no responsibilities. You don't got shit to do. Right? There's a guy right now that he don't do nothing other than code. He's on top of every AI thing. He's going to college, going to university, going to the internship. He has nothing else to worry about, right? No kids, no nothing. He don't pay for nothing. He a papi and mommy kid. That kid might have the biggest chance to continue doing software engineering. I'm in the space of helping individuals, right, that are already in careers or bullshit jobs that they want to leave, and how do we make it easier for them to go in and jump into a tech career? Right now, that door shut. That shit's shut, and it's gonna get even more shut once they go in and say only with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. So then, that's why I'm not focusing on full stack software engineer, because it doesn't help you guys, which is my audience. I could go in and be like, yeah, I could get a fucking job as software engineer. I got 10 plus years. I've built every single type of app that you could think of. I know the whole stack from the front to the back to freaking marketing, design, everything that you could think of. I know all of these things. I could go in and apply as a software engineer. But again, do I want to do that type of work? Not really, right? But what's happening too, when you see a web admin, an email developer, what's the difference between this and software engineering? The thing that makes software engineering special is the code. What makes special of email development and web administration, it's not the code. It's actually that you know how to use the tools and the processes, right? And the flows for you to be able to solve this problem. Again, two different things. Before, it was just coding. So now, why are email developers still getting hired? Because this is something that you can't really automate this shit. And there's parts of it that you're going to be able to automate, but you still need to have the human side of things. Going through the right audience, going through the right tools. And yeah, you might have an agent like that does through the browser, click here, click there, look at this, look at that, right? But someone has to oversee that. That's why email developers, web administrators, CRM specialists, right? Most people that's in MarTech, they're good because the thing that made them special wasn't the code. It was the solving of a problem with the tools and integrating code with it. You understand that? So hopefully that makes sense. Okay? There's going to be a lot of opportunities for everybody. It's just, for me, from what I've seen and from where I've seen the industry going, there's certain doors that's just closing. It's closing because people, is really expensive. It's like right now, somebody goes in like, yo, you want to do full stack development for $60,000, $70,000? Most people don't want to do it for $60,000, $70,000 because it is a lot of responsibility, a lot of work, right? So if I'm going to go and pay that much, right? And I say, oh, I'm going to pay you 120, 150, etc. Now I need to make sure you are the best of the best and that you know how to orchestrate all of this. And that leaves the majority of people that's trying to switch careers, maybe at a later age, is closing the doors for them. Now, are you going to see some outliers that, make it happen? Because, yeah, whatever you put your mind into it, you're going to make it happen. And if you're consistent. But if those opportunities, how they used to be like, hey, man, I just learned React. I just applied to this job and I just got a front-end developer job. That shit is not there no more. That shit died in 2025, 2024. You know what I'm saying? That shit died there. And then on top of that, you got all of these people that got laid off that got all this experience over you as a beginner. So you're putting the odds against you going that route. Like, yes, you want to learn it and you want to learn, but that's for yourself. But if you have in your head, I'm going to get my first job as a software engineer or a full stack developer or even front end developer, it's very hard right now. Eric Timo says, I'll totally be a software engineer for 60K. Hit me up. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, you might be a beginner. You might just be starting in this or switching careers to this. But the average person, like the guys that like really been doing this shit, they don't want to do that shit for 60, 70, 80. They want to see 100 something plus. So companies is like, all right, cool. We got to also cut down. Okay. So that's something that you want to, go in and pay attention to. And that's why I'm focusing a lot on email development. It's just the opportunities is there, bro. I'm all for how difficult it is to get in, how many interviews I got to do, right? And how much money do I get to make? Like if I go in, somebody tells me, okay, Joe, for you to make let's say $175,000 at XYZ.com as a software engineer, right? And you got to go through 6 interviews, right? But you could go in and make $135 at XYZ.com as a growth manager. And you got 2 interviews. And we're excited to have you here. And we want you to come in. Where do you think I would choose to go? And the level of responsibilities that you have, right? Like, for example, like I have a lot of friends of mine that work at Amazon as software engineers. I have seen people that get called on late nights, talking about like 12, 1 o'clock. I've seen people working on the weekend, and it's not like they're getting paid extra, right? In a sense, you're almost on call. And then you got to be constantly learning new stuff, switching you from team to team. It's like, it's a sweatshop. To make an extra $30,000. Now, where do you think I want to be at? I want to be overworking myself for $30,000, or do I want to come in and when I leave a job, I come out with a smile in my face. I had a great time. I had a couple of the marketing girls in there. You know what I mean? We have a great relationship, right? I'm working with mostly women. Where do you think, let me ask you this. Where do you think I want to be at? Where do you think I want to be at? I don't know, bro. I'm in the space of, I like to make my life simple. I like to make money, take care of my family, take care of my kids. But I like work-life balance. I like the environment, right? That's why I never got into like .NET. .net is like, you go into .net, you got to walk around with an ID card right here. You got to wear the little freaking the little freaking slack, the freaking beige slacks, right? I don't want to be around that, right? I don't want to be an enterprise level walking around with a freaking tight shirt. How you doing, Joseph? That's not me. I'd rather work in agencies. I'd rather work in companies where it's more like a hipster vibe. You know what I'm saying? Nice little plaid shirt, boom. You know what I mean? I come into work with a Star Wars shirt type shit. That's just me. I don't want to be in that corporate world of like, yeah, bro, like you gotta come in to do that and like, hi, Bob. That's not me. You could go in and offer me an extra 50,000. I'll say, I don't need that shit. I could make that shit on my own. Right? So for me, it's more about experience, enjoying the job, how easy it is to do, right? You know, how much mental, space I'm gonna have when I come home, so I could continue doing my side gigs, side income, my businesses. I enjoy that part. But that's just me. Some people, they don't know how to make money. So they'll go in and be like, man, I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to work like a slave at this company because they offering me 150. And, maybe if they keep on bringing me up and, in 3 years, I'll make 300,000. I'm not going through hell for a little bullshit money when in reality, I'd rather be living good and do whatever the hell I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Let me see, just reading through the boss in the thick A Charlie. Shout out to Ivan Hurt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather be working in a team with full of women and good energy and a couple of cool kids. Like couple of cool dudes that like look at my boy Angel. Go see that live stream. Go check it out if you guys haven't checked it out. That I did a live stream with my guy Angel the other day. We were talking about AI automations, right? Me and Angel worked at an agency. Angel's one of the coolest dudes that you will ever meet. I never met another Angel at a company where I was doing full stack development. I've never met him. Maybe my other boy Joel, but most of the time it's like dudes that's like uptight or socially awkward, or they don't want to talk to nobody. Or you will meet the other guy that's like, he's trying to flex that he don't do shit at home. And he's like, yeah, bro, you haven't kept up with, XYZ volumes, that version 3.7. Bro, I got shit to do. I got to hang out with chicks. I'm going to the fucking bar. I'm fucking hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm chilling. I can't keep up with you. I got shit to do. I'm not trying to flex the developer muscles. That shit don't mean nothing to me. So I like to work in environments where I'm like, I'm happy. Now it's like, even for myself, if I go to work for anybody, I gotta do my research on the company. I gotta see the office. I gotta see what you guys is doing, who I'm working with. Because if I don't want to work there, I don't have to. That's the beauty of it. When you go in and you set yourself up where you're like, okay, I got choices. I'm interviewing you. You think that you're interviewing me. I'm interviewing you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in here. But like I said, guys, listen, definitely, if you guys are interested in email development, this is what we focus on, CodingPhase.com. There's a lot of opportunities. Understand why this thing is not going away, why people are still getting hired right now as email developers, like what's happening in the industry. If you just pay attention to it, remember this. If you learned anything from this video, this live stream, You got to learn skills that generate income. Okay? That's what's still valuable to companies. Okay? Coding is great, and knowing how to code is great because it allows you to build things. Okay? But if you are going on this coding path, you need to learn other things adjacent or parallel to coding to be able to shine. Because right now, if you only know how to code, but you have no creativity, you have no way to know how to do research, you don't understand how business works, you're going to have a very hard time, okay, to be able to find a job and to be in this industry. Now, with email development, web administration, even Shopify development, the reason why those things are still hot and people still getting hired to this day, I haven't seen one Shopify developer, man, I got laid over, I can't find a job, right? I see them constantly getting jobs, new opportunities. And the reason that is because this is something that makes money for companies. If you don't have a solid online store, you don't have the tracking systems that, track all the conversions for all the different advertisements and all the different marketing, omni channels, right? If you don't have none of those things set up, your business doesn't make money. You spend $100,000 in advertisement and you spent it on the wrong advertisement. That's why Shopify, that's why web administration, that's why email development is important. It's things that generate income. Okay? So if you want to come in and learn those skills, definitely come to CodingPhase.com. Like I said, literally take advantage right now. This is a 50% off. Okay? You getting 50% off. It's supposed to be $60. I'm giving it to you for $1. Okay? Take advantage. Come to the platform. Come join. Go through the courses. Go build your resume. Build your portfolio. I'm giving you everything so you could go in and actually get success. If you want to win this year, you got to come in to CodingPhase and pay attention to. That's it. Okay? I'm not here to convince you of it. I'm just putting the information out for those of you guys that want to hear and y'all want to fucking listen. All right, guys. I love you guys. Take care. It's your boy Joe back at it again. CodingPhase.com. Take care.